Everyone, so it's Saturday now. It is my first day off this week, and I'm about to actually drive down to work to go pick up some lunch, just because I don't want to eat anything I have here. I'd rather save that for like when I come home from work and I need something quick. I'm gonna go get my takeout food from my own restaurant, and just go hang out. And this will be fun for me because it's the first time that I'll be ordering as a guest, really. Because normally I just kind of eat scraps or leftovers or misfires from the kitchen. So I actually get to pick what I want to eat. Very excited. So we're gonna drive down. All right, mission accomplished. Got the lavash and the shaved Brussels sprout salad. I'm already sweating. It is very hot down here. I'm gonna go home and eat it. I'm very excited. She's so pretty. Guess who's gonna be late to work because I stopped to play with Boo Boo this morning. It's me. Hi, handsome buddy. Hi. Hi everyone, so I thought I would just pop in and do kind of a quick coronavirus update because that's, I guess, really the only thing the world seems to be talking about right now, but kind of that impact has finally reached us here on Lana'i, and we are currently in day 2 of a basically 5-week shutdown. We have no guests in house. Right now the resort is currently closed and will remain closed to guests until May 1st is the target kind of reopen date. That being said, we're not entirely, like, we're not on vacation for 5 weeks. We do still kind of have to work from home or work remotely as much as possible. So on Monday we had kind of an all hands meeting to talk about what was happening with the closure. And they announced that ownership was going to be paying us for the full 5 weeks that we're going to basically be out of work, and that means every salaried employee, every hourly employee fully covered for 5 weeks of pay and full benefits the entire time, which is so incredible, and we're so fortunate to have the type of ownership that is making that decision. And as far as we know, we're the only Four Seasons location in the world that is doing anything remotely this close to helping their staff, really. So that's it's really incredible, and we're so fortunate to have that. Yeah, so basically we are shut down, and there's no guests in house. The only people living in house are those like myself. There's about, I think, 25 give or take staff that live on property because we're all still in the housing queue waiting to get a house kind of out in town that we can move into. So they moved everybody up here to Kauai so that we're all kind of in one centralized location. And it's nice to have neighbors again, so it's not just me and the chickens, which I think you can hear in the background. So it's nice to have people around for a change. And so starting on Sunday, we're actually switching over to a new kind of meal program for all of us that live in-house, which is really cool, because right now we have access to the staff cafeteria here, but obviously they didn't want anybody working during this 5-week shutdown, so they don't want to staff the cafeteria. So that will be closing Saturday night, and starting Sunday morning, Four Seasons is actually partnering with a couple of local restaurants, and the gas station, I guess, also counts as a restaurant here. But they're partnering with local businesses to provide meals for us. So we're going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner provided every day from a local business, which is awesome because we get fed. And then we're also putting money back into the economy and helping those businesses stay open in a time where we're really not supposed to be going outside unless for like essential trips. Like today I went to the grocery store, which was essential, and you didn't really see anybody out anywhere in Dole Park except for outside of Richards. There were a bunch of us in there buying groceries, and they actually had a bunch of painter's tape on the floor kind of marking out boxes that were about 5 or 6 feet away from each other to practice safe social distancing. So that was pretty funny to try and navigate that in a very small space. But I got food for a couple more days. I don't know if I've mentioned before, I just don't really use the staff cafeteria here because it's very difficult for me to get a full meal out of it, being because I am a vegetarian and I do have a couple other dietary issues like no meat, very, very limited dairy, and a couple of other, like I'm allergic to bananas, fun fact. So it's just, I struggle with getting food there, so I kind of just make my own food, and I'm fortunate that I do have a toaster oven, so I can kind of bake a little bit or cook a little bit, reheat. I'll also just make a lot of like peanut butter sandwiches or hummus wraps or cereal, a lot of cereal, but that's kind of where we're at, I guess. And yeah, travel has been pretty much shut down to and from the island. I don't believe there's any passenger flights still coming in from Oahu. I think it's only cargo flights, and those are few and far between to begin with. And then the ferry that goes over to Maui, the docks in Lahaina, has basically shut down and is only running 2 trips a day to and from, and it is, at this point, is really only available to Lana'i residents because they are no longer taking day guests from Maui to come over here because the resort shut down and there's nothing really to do on island without the resort. The supply barge is still coming in once a week, but other than that, we're really almost isolated out here, which is really a good thing, because if we were to, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but if we were to have an outbreak of coronavirus here, it would be really, really devastating for this community because we are so small, and we do have, a lot of our population is over the age of 60, and we don't have a hospital. We have a community health center which has 3 beds, and we don't have ventilators. And we do have a couple of corona tests that are on island. I know one person that was tested, turns out she just had strep. None of us ever thought we'd be happy to say someone has strep, but there you are. But I think it's definitely a little weird to think of really kind of how isolated we are, but at the same time, it's the most responsible move that we can make at this point, and we'll just have to, hopefully it works, and we'll just have to see how everything goes, and that's that. But yeah, sorry, this was kind of probably a short and bit of a bummer video again, but I thought I would just pop in and kind of give some updates and kind of what we're doing here to combat corona the best we can. But again, hope everybody is as healthy and socially distanced as possible, and yeah, that's kind of it. So talk to y'all soon.